This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. And by Lee Health.
Southwest Florida, welcome to another edition of Lee Pitts Live. And we don't know how to go home, people. We're here at the Blanchard Museum of African American History of Charlotte County culture. I put the word culture in there. And we just don't know how to go home. So we're going to be here again this week, and we're loving it. We can't wait to come back. The accommodations have just been outstanding. We have a fabulous show in store for you today. Get a chance to talk to Lureen Slater, a renowned author. The book is called Spiritual Beauty, A State of Consciousness. I was reading the book and I couldn't put it down. It's a page turner. You want to make sure you get a chance to stay there for that interview. Also, we get a chance to talk to Jacqueline Black. She's the owner of JB Cleaning Services, LLC. If you need some cleaning done, she handles everything from soup to nut, commercial and residential. And we'll get a chance to talk to the director here at this museum, but we'll talk to her about her book, The Womb Rebellion by P.W. Long, and that will be Martha Beretta. All that's happening on Lee Pitts Live, that's Dr. Martha Beretta. All that's happening on Lee Pitts Live. We'll be right back. Southwest Florida, without further ado, let's welcome the Reverend Lureen Slater, the author of Spiritual Beauty and State of Consciousness. Now, thanks for putting together a book like this that I just found to be a fabulous book. When you read that title, it says to me, this is going to be really interesting. Tell me how you came up with that title.
I came up with it because as a kid growing up, we placed so much of emphasis on our physical appearance and very little on the spiritual aspect of our being. And when you're beautiful on the inside, it transcends to the outside. But less work is done for the spiritual aspect of us to be developed.
Right.
Because as we all know, the spirit, without the spirit, the body don't exist. So when you have a beautiful soul that is beautified by the Holy Spirit, with all of the attributes of the Spirit, like light, like love, understanding, wisdom, and we have all of these components of love, you see a person that is loving unconditionally. The world will be a better place if all of us find our correct place in life.
Tell me a success story of somebody who read your book and just basically told you it changed their life and the way they went about doing things.
Yes, I have a such sister that I work with at my job, and she read the book. She's also another algebra teacher, and she has gone to church for a year. She has been going to church. And looking at religion, it's often limited, whereas spirituality is thinking out of the box. God has already given us everything. And unless we accept the premises of our true identity, we cannot function from a spiritual aspect of our being. So she was looking at God from, let's say, the Bible. The Bible is good in itself, but it does not help us to activate that which is already given to us. Why are we asking God? As she said, she used to be asking God for stuff. But now she embraces, she affirms that she already has these things. She started to see through the eyes of spirit and not through the limitation of her physical being. So she said from her olden days she went to church and she never understood the Bible. And she was so turned off from religion. But with this book, it inspired her that the word become life and dwells amongst men.
How does that make you feel when you get that kind of feedback? To know
Well,
that you're reaching somebody who may not have been reached before.
Well, I'm very happy about that because I could identify with it myself. I was basically lost. Even though I attended church every Sunday, it was mandated in my home. You had to go to church. But I never gotten it. But when you come to the understanding of this beautiful soul within the body, And that's all we have right now, a body that has a soul that houses the spirit. And when we start functioning from the spirit, then it's when we get real joy out of living. Then our living wouldn't be in vain because we know the flesh cannot love. And we have all of this distortion in the world today because there's a lack of the word, of the essence of love. The presence of the word is there, but it has no meaning. You know, if you look at certain shows and they're singing, you find that one person will come on and sing and they will just capture the audience. That is the essence of love.
One of the things along with your book, John, you have a companion CD that enhances the learning process, and that is very unique in its own right as well. So first, I want you to make sure you give that website that you gave me, Spiritual. Go ahead.
It is spiritualbeauty-LureenSlater.com.
And we have that website appearing on the screen where people can go in and get all that information about the book. Let's read an excerpt from your book if you don't mind.
Yes, I think it would be fitting for the one on love. Love is the shortest chapter in the book, but since love is the key for the glue that binds us together, I would like to read this aspect of it. As a matter of fact, all 12 powers of the mind are interrelated. Love is caring and kind. It is the glue that harmonizes all situations. However, we must temper with love. It must be tempered with love. There is intellectual love, which the brain activates and the mouth speaks. Unfortunately, this type of passionate love is more prevalent in our society today. It is called love manipulation. On the other hand, when love is spoken from the heart, vibrational, energetic feelings deep within move the atmosphere and stir the heart. People in that environment can sense the aura of love. However, the most harmonizing and special love is the one not spoken. It can be felt so deeply that nothing on the outside can penetrate or distract it. Have you ever thought of why lovers close their eyes? And especially when they are kissing? Because it is not something that can be seen. The heart chakra is fully illumined in that activity.
Beautiful. I want to have you, while you're talking, we're not going to stop talking.
Yes.
I want you to autograph this for me on TV so people know I got the autograph. And while you're autographing it, tell me about the book. Is it fictitious or is it some of your actual life in this book as well?
Well, the book is based upon my life and the observation of the world around me as it relates to the Bible. I want to make the Bible real because God said, when Jesus walked the earth, he said, everything I have done, he said to his disciples, everything I have done, you can do and even greater things. But we are so stuck in the Word and regurgitating the Word without understanding that what Jesus did, we can also do. And without getting that understanding, I cannot believe like a day like today, I'm on Lee Pitts Live. That would have been unheard of. But I first have to see the vision before it becomes a reality.
What are the traditionalists saying? Because you say think outside the box. You know those traditionalists, they want you to go boom, boom, boom. Don't think outside of anything. What's their response to you?
I'm glad that you asked because I actually opened Divine Circle of Light in Lehigh, and I started as a minister. I started to preach the I am consciousness, the I am God, God I am. So it's like, that is blasphemy. But if I do not identify my creative being, it's like asking me, who are you? Okay, I'm a Carol. That's my maiden name. As my husband here, I became a Slater. However, that is the physical. If I'm made in the image and in the likeness of God, then what am I associating myself with God? Because I'm spirit, soul, and body. So within this body lies a soul that houses spirit. So in order for that spirit to come through, I have to acknowledge it. So understanding the nature of who I am as in relationship to God, I'm like a prodigy of the divine, the God Almighty.
Now, the 12 chapters in your book, which chapter you say capsulizes what you're trying to get across in your book best?
I would say the chapter to which, I would like to say the chapter that really enhances this book is the one on understanding. If we don't have a clear understanding, because he said, because of lack of knowledge, my people perishes. Sometimes we don't want to get outside of the box and read other people's religion. I believe in the allness. And when you understand, like in the wisdom chapter, when you go, like say to the Buddhists, or you go to the Hinduism, the Hindu faith, and you sit within these cultures, one thread they have, and that thread is love. So there wouldn't be no separation of religion and separation of people if we all identify that we are God, but we are God for ourselves, not for each other. We are God because whatever decision we make, whatever mindset we have, whatever we're thinking, that is becoming our reality. But it's so easy to say God and the devil in between there because you got somebody else to blame. There's nobody to blame for your actions. You are in what you're in because you have placed yourself there. We understand that fully.
Within the book itself, we mentioned this CD. These are songs.
Yes.
Tell us how these songs in the book work hand in hand.
Because if you look at it from the Bible aspect into the book and the CD, Jesus, he called for 12 disciples. Each disciples represent a faculty in our being. For example, John is love. We have James, the son of Alphaeus. He is divine order. But James, the son of Zebedee, he is wisdom. And each one of the 12 disciples that Jesus called forth make him complete. It's like playing a flute. All of those holes have to be active and readily available. So it's the same thing with all of these 12 stages that we must go through. You cannot say that I could renounce something, like renunciation. Or as children in school, they have all the gangs and the violence and everything. They have to learn how to renounce these things and use wisdom to know to navigate so that they don't get jumped. Because we often tell our children, don't do this, don't do that. But as far as it relates to the book, all of those 12 characteristics we dealt with one by one. So once you get it in your system, you take the CD, you start to sing about it. And as you start to sing, you're feeling the joy. It's like when you look at the rainbow is very colorful. How do you feel when you look at the rainbow? So the colors are just put there to help. It's like a visual. I'm a math teacher, right. And symbology is big.
But I want to make sure before we end the interview, people have heard you say you're an algebra teacher, and there's kids out there, the students say, would you call the name of our school and give us some publicity?
Well, it's Eastleigh County High School.
Okay, good. We'll give them some publicity.
Yes.
Now, the spiritual beauty state of consciousness. This says, just in reading, I can see throughout your book that you are goal-oriented. You seek to continue to grow and improve. Where do you see yourself 3 years from now? What kind of things are going to be happening?
Well, the process have already started from now, because even though I'm a teacher, I would like to be a motivational speaker.
Oh,
Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer have Mariam Williamson. Those people have really impacted my life. Like Charles Fillmore in his book, 12-Hour Meditation. You know, anytime you have people that is doing something to enlighten people, to wake up from that dream, like Dr. Kennedy Davis from Truth Center for Higher Consciousness, he has been my spiritual leader for a very long time. You have Teacher Van Sertima. I was in a metaphysical class with him. And the late Byerly, Dr. Byerly from God's Unlimited Ministry. I've had many influential people. I came from a family of ministry. My family, some of them are Jehovah's Witness, some are Pentecostal.
You know. Guyana.
Yes, I am originally.
Guyanese.
Yes.
Who would you say is the audience? Final question. Who is the audience to read this book?
Thank you. That question I would love to answer, because any age could pick this book up and read it. I've written it in everyday, simple language. But my main goal is my teenagers. I would love teenagers to have this information, because I got this information as an adult, only about 10 years in.
And if you had heard this earlier, you'd be a better person for that.
Yes, and I would like my young people to become more conscientious of who they are.
I know when I was reading it was a page turner, people. I encourage everybody to get this book. And we look forward to getting you back on the show in the future, okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're going to continue to do great things.
Thank you, Mr. Pitts.
As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Reverend Slater and all the fine people who are associated with this great book who are doing it. We'll be right back with another guest. Hey, this is Lee Pitts, the host of Lee Pitts Live, right here on Fox 4. Glad you checked us out here on YouTube. You want to not miss any of our shows, so we encourage you to subscribe by clicking that red button at the bottom there, and all our Lee Pitts Live shows will come directly to you, conveniently located.